What up, peeps? Mr. Bones back at you, and it is once again Wild Eye Wednesday, and what we're talking about is 2017's Cold Ground. This is directed and written by Fabian Delage, starring Doug Rand as Blake Turner, Philip Scurer as Gunter, Mara Tilly as Lorianne, Gala Basson as Melissa, and Jeffrey Blandon as David. The short synopsis on IMDb just says the lucky ones freeze to death. Two journalists visit the French-Swiss border to investigate a series of cattle mutilations for a TV show. Once they arrive, the scientist team they were to meet has gone missing. Escorted by a British biologist and an American forensic investigator, they will go looking for the missing team deep in the mountains, but will find something ungodly that has stalked the Alps for centuries. Yeah, so it comes on with these two people in a car, a couple. I think are David and Melissa, and they're going to meet up with these other people to do this documentary, and they meet up with these other professionals and to escort them, and they head up this snowy mountain, stop a few times to pitch a tent and rest and eat and sleep, and so far up they find a mutilated cow, and a little farther up the mountain they find a human jawbone and start freaking out. They stop a few more times for rest, and this is a slow burn, and nothing happens till like 50 minutes in, so you really have to be patient and await the good stuff. Once the shit starts, it's really entertaining and interesting and a fun watch. They step out of their tent once and they find this dead person, looks like a dead person, like on the poster. Looks like a frozen, tore up person, pretty much hard dead, but they jump up and scream and start to walk toward them, to try to ask for help or whatever, and a werewolf jumps out of nowhere on them and finishes them off. And then a werewolf jumps on one of the girls and kills her. They run back to their tents, and they're heading down the hill, and slowly they're getting taken out one by one. There's a gory-ass, crazy amputation scene where the boyfriend has frostbite on his foot, and he says it hurts, and he can't walk, and begs his girlfriend to amputate it so it doesn't spread and he doesn't lose his whole leg. And she's freaking out and crying while she does it, and it looks like a fucking butter knife she's trying to use. I don't know, it looked like one dull shitty knife. And it was a crazy scene to watch. And then he gives her a rock to bash to break the bone so it'll come off. And then next thing you know, the werewolves show up again and devour him, so eventually it ends up just being her left, and she's running away. And then eventually there's a lot of cutscenes where the camera's turning on and off where she's documenting, and eventually it turns back on toward the end of the movie and she wakes up in a cave. So I guess they took her back to their lair, and it turns into like claustrophobic type stuff like The Descent. She's wandering through there, you can hear her freaking out, breathing deep. You see bats hanging all over the ceiling, which is freaky. I wouldn't even like that part, worrying about them going crazy and flying at me. And eventually she posts the camera up, starts that thing you see in movies where my name is Melissa and all my friends are dead, and if you find this, I probably didn't make it. And then she sees a werewolf, takes off running, actually makes it out, finds a door, the open of the cave, and she's running, and then falls off a cliff. You can see the camera tumbling and down the snow and stuff, and I'm gonna leave it there. So if you choose to watch this, you can find out if she survives. I won't say that part. Like I said, this is a slow burn. This is shot on video, styled like Blair Witch. This is goes back and forth between French and English and has subtitles. The PQ quality has lines and dots to make it look like a shot on like a 8mm camera. So if you wouldn't like any of that, then you wouldn't like it. But if none of that would bother you and it sounds interesting, then I'd say check it out. It was a fun movie, a fun watch, and that's what I watched. Peace.